Amber, congratulations on your win. Nick, congratulations for going for it. You know, you ran in a very deeply red part of Pennsylvania. So I wanted to ask you, Nick, why was it important for you to try and beat the odds?
Well, thank you, Adrienne, and congratulations, Amber. I mean, I think running tough fights is really important for the future. I mean, having uncontested elections is not good for our democracy. But I think it's not even just about winning. Having those conversations, I mean, if you want to learn something about your values, learn something about your neighbors, overcome our polarization in America, try knocking on 3,000 doors of people who don't see things the way you do. I mean, the spin room talking points go away pretty quickly, and you get to talking about real issues and how to move us forward. So that's something I'm really proud of in the campaign, and something that I think will pay dividends long into the future for everybody, whatever your party is.
And I think that it's about looking people in the eye and seeing people and not dehumanizing through social media where you never actually interact. Amber, in terms of the red surge across your state, obviously Republicans taking back the popular vote after 2 decades. How do you feel and what are you hearing now from your constituents?
Well, South Dakota has always been a stronghold red state. And I just wanted to say, I know that the election maybe didn't come out the way you wanted, Nick, but thank you for stepping up and putting yourself out there, because as a young person, it isn't easy at all. It's not easy to run anyway, but I think this red surge was something that we were expecting to happen. I'm grateful to be from a state that has always been, hard rock conservative for the last few years, but it's a huge honor to be a part of this surge and this movement.
I have to ask you a follow-up because you said, a lot of us expected it will happen. It's interesting, depending upon what channel you're flipping through. There are a lot of people who are shocked with this red wave. They are upended emotionally from this red wave. What made you expect it?
Well, I think, part of it has to do with what media sources you're getting your news and information from. And sadly, social media only worsens that with kind of putting people into an echo chamber. But, within my circles and when I was knocking doors and within even my work, my 9-to-5 job, we knew that there were a majority of Americans that wanted to see a change just because of the policies that they were living under. And they saw that the last 4 years was not what they wanted to live under for the next 4 years. And, 5 million more people agreed. And like I said, I'm very lucky to have been elected during this movement.
Let's actually, if we can potentially play a couple of sound bites from our first conversation with Nick and Amber, can we have the control room press play?
Young people are stepping up and taking the reins so that they can save this country. Young people started this country, and we will be the generation to fix many of the problems that exist right now.
The thing that I hear most from people is a real enthusiasm that young people are stepping up and are taking an interest. And I think there's a real fear among older voters, among all Americans really, about who is invested in the future of our country and how are we going to keep it going.
So I'm going to follow up with you, Nick, first. In terms of what you've learned and what you'll take with you in your next stage of pursuing a career, because I'm guessing you don't want to give up yet, what will you take with you as one of the biggest lessons from this experience?
Easily the biggest lesson and the biggest surprise for me was how open and thoughtful people were on their doors. Votes are up or down. You have to go one way or another. But what you don't capture is the quality of conversations. I mean, you look at the media coverage of the election of America, and you think we're living in a place where people are ready to rip their throats out. And that's just not true. I mean, the conversations that I had, again, in a district that is, Republican plus 50, were amazing. And people were very thoughtful and worried about a lot of stuff that I think we can make a lot of progress on. So that's what I'm thinking about and what I'm holding on to. And what I would encourage everybody to hold on to is our collective humanity.
I love that. And please never change. And don't let anything corrupt you. Amber, Amber, same thing for you. In terms of moving forward, what's one of the first things that you'll pursue as you get into office?
Well, as a budding election law attorney, I would like to work on some of the election laws in South Dakota to ensure that people have faith in their election system. I mean, we're in some states still counting ballots, and so I think that's something that the American people all across the country want, but especially here in South Dakota. So I'd like to bring my personal background and expertise to the table, but then also as someone who is a product of the public school system in South Dakota, K through 12, I was a public school student, and then I went to a South Dakota university. And so I just went through the system that the taxpayers pay for, and hope to be an active voice at the table discussing what can be done better in our public school systems.
Thanks so much for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.